We love a good show just as much as the next person.
The plot, the characters, the twists and turns.
Sometimes it all needs a deeper discussion.
We're two babes just giving the people what they want on
On
mystery,
mystery,
murder,
murder,
and
and
melanin.
melanin. Well, welcome back to Mystery, Murder, and Melanin. I'm your co-host, Harmony.
And I'm your co host, Yelly. Today we are going over episode 2 of Netflix's new show, Beauty in Black.
Yes, so let's dive right on in.
All right, y'all. So in episode 2, let's go ahead and go through the main characters that we're going to be seeing throughout this episode or talking about throughout this episode. So we have Mallory. We all know she's a bitch, okay? We
Yeah.
discussed this last episode. We don't really like her. We have Roy. We finally hear his name in this episode, and Roy is also known as the Whale, and that is Mallory's husband. We also have Jules. We already established that he is kind of the one that's running the girls. He's got the security business. He's doing all these different things behind the scenes. We also have Kimmy, who is our main girl, Rain, who is her bestie, Body, who is the bottom bitch at the strip club.
Mhm.
We also have the VIP Zaddy. We don't know his name yet, but we
Yeah.
will. We will. And we also have the little Latin stripper. His name is Angel, I believe.
Angel, okay.
Yeah. And he is actually the guy that set up all this is why they're
Yeah.
in the position they're in. So we are
Shaking my
gonna
head.
be introduced to him further.
All right, let's get on into it. Thanks for the rundown on the characters of this episode. So this episode starts off with Roy running over the body in the middle of the street. It's nighttime, it's pouring raining, and he gets off the car and he puts the body in his trunk, which I was shocked that he put the body in his trunk, but
I was too, because I don't think that wouldn't be my first thought, especially if I know that I didn't hit them. Like it was already there.
well, I think he doesn't know though, too. Mind you, he's been drinking all night and on coke all night.
True. I
So,
just felt
like once
like,
you start driving, I feel like I'm in a daze half the time when I'm driving. Not okay, but sometimes like
yeah,
I
no, I
just
feel you.
get home on autopilot.
No, I feel you.
So yeah, he gets home, puts the body in his trunk. He walks in the door. As soon as he walked in the door, I started liking Mallory at this point. Mallory's on business. She runs up, she starts hitting him, yelling right on sight. She's like, "Who is she?" She's like hitting him and stuff. She landing some, she connecting.
Yeah. She was like
And
right
Roy,
to action.
yeah, she about that action. Roy's denying it the entire time. He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Like, dude, especially even after she said, I heard you butt dialed
Uh-huh.
me, and he's still like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, sir,
Yeah.
I heard it with my own ears.
And then she throws a glass at him and she's like, yeah, saying like, I heard all the shit. And he's like, you ain't hear shit. Like. And so Mallory's like, so did you come down the private road? He's like, mm, that was you. That was you. That made me really suspicious. Like, how crazy are they for him to like just automatically think that she left something for him in the middle of the road?
Yeah, because I also thought that same thing. Like, dang, she's mad about this situation with, another woman. You think she's immediately setting you up for murder?
Like, damn. So they're about to be crazy. I'm already, this is just a precursor to how crazy they're about to be. It jumps over to Kimmy's over at the motel with Rain. And then definitely last episode, I definitely jumped into this to this section right here. And like, so Kimmy's wanting to take Rain to the hospital, and Rain is super out of it. She's not wanting to go to the hospital. She's like, look at my butt. How does it look? Take a picture of it. Like,
Just
she's
the
trying to be
Lulu.
happy, but she is out of it.
Right. Because, girl, do you not feel like you're dying? Because you look like you're dying and you're worried about how it looks.
Scary. Kimmy's like, you're cold and clammy. Like, girl, you ain't a nurse. Like, damn, bitch, you don't feel cold and clammy. Like, I don't have to be a nurse to look like to say you look a mess.
Literally.
Now, this is the flashback of Kimmy and Rain walking around the Walmart and they get onto the laptops. And this is where we first see Angel is the guy that Rain knows who's trying to set them up to make some money and says that they can make 5 grand each. They got to fly down to Atlanta.
I think it was,
It's like Atlanta to
I think,
somewhere else, like Atlanta
yeah,
to DC or Atlanta to somewhere.
yeah. Some city to some city.
Then it comes back. Kimmy answers Rain's phone and Body's calling to check on Rain. She's like, why the hell you answering her phone? And Kimmy's like, she's not doing too well,
Hmm.
like she's over here, like I'm about to take her to the hospital. Body snaps on her, like, don't take her nowhere. Like, I'll be there.
Hmm.
It basically says that they'll blame all of this on Kimmy. Like, say that Kimmy got the shots for her and paid for it.
Which,
And
when she
say,
said this, I was thinking like she wouldn't go to jail for that though. I don't think. Like if she just paid. I mean, like, we know that Kimmy didn't have any part in it,
"Mm,
but Body's like, yeah, we'll say they like you talked her into and da da da. But like, I
mm."
don't think she would actually get in like trouble for that.
I don't know. I feel like it's just like a tactic of like an abuser saying like you'll get in trouble if you don't listen to me.
Hmm.
Because I agree, like, how could you really prove that I'm the one who like set that up
Yeah,
if Rain doesn't make it? We don't really know if Rain's gonna make it at this point or not.
yeah. I just thought that was interesting because like,
Yeah. I definitely thought it was crazy. Like, girl, and everybody just listening to them. Give me low key not listening to them. That's why they keep being mad at her. So Roy and Mallory back arguing, and Roy takes Mallory to the garage and shows her the woman in his trunk. They keep saying it's a woman. Does it look like a woman to you?
well, when she first hit the body in the last episode, I just automatically assumed it was a guy. And
Yeah,
I know like I was like, well, whoever it was, but like I feel like at no point in this episode did I ever think it was a woman still.
yeah. So I feel like this body is it's disfigured. So we really cannot tell if it's a woman or man. So he shows her the body in his trunk. She's like, what the hell are you doing with this body in the trunk? Acting oblivious. But he's like, you did this. And she's like, I was just so disoriented, mad at you, like, and ran over. And so
Well, at
basically,
first she was
Roy,
also like, at first she was like, how do you even know I did it? He's
yeah,
like, it's a private road. Like,
yeah, they're so crazy.
yeah. But we also get a clue here because they're having that little interaction, he says, well, it's a private road and only our family drives on this road. So it's like, if
Mhm.
it's not you, it would have had to have been, somebody else. And I think he just knew like nobody else really would have been out.
Yeah. So we learned that from him. Like, this is our private road. Only like our family live on this road or even have houses on this road. So like our family versus like workers or friends of the family. So Rory is adamant. He's like, like, let's call Jules. He's the family security. Like, this is what we have him for. And Mallory does not trust him at all. She's like, I don't trust Jules. You guys put too much trust in him. Like, let's take care of this on ourselves. And she starts trying to brainstorm some outlandish idea. She's like, let's burn the car. And then she's like, let's leave it in my old neighborhood.
When
So
she was like brainstorming this, once again going back to kind of what you're saying about like they must be crazy because I feel like my first thought wouldn't be like, okay, we could do this, we could do this. I would probably still just be freaking out. Like I haven't devised any plan yet. I'm still in like freak
mhm,
out mode of like, oh my gosh, I
mhm.
can't believe. And she was just, and that's the thing. Like when he got home, she was sitting at the table just drinking a drink. She's not sitting there crying about the fact she hit somebody and they could be dead. She's just
Mhm.
like chilling at the table and like, okay, I'm gonna, attack my man because I heard about the woman. Like, I don't even care about the body.
I didn't even think about that part, but that's so true. She she's a piece of work.
Hmm.
And then there's another part too, like Rory's like, you are a piece of work. Like, you want us to dump the car and the body in a different neighborhood, and you want somebody to take a murder charge for you? Like, Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's another thing like didn't think of too. Like somebody else will take the fall for this body being in the trunk then if you report it stolen. She said, let's report it stolen.
That is such an interesting dynamic between them because we see where it's like she seems like she doesn't care about anyone except for protecting the image. Even
Hmm.
though he is having this affair on his wife, he still has somewhat of like a conscience about like
Yeah.
this is just not the right thing to do. And she's just like, I don't care. Like,
She's just trying to protect her image.
yeah,
And we do see him in another role too. Like he was being like such an asshole to Kimmy and in that situation in the hotel and stuff. And like we see him in a different light here where like his wife is like trying to take charge of everything and just like telling him what to do.
yeah.
So then we jump over to Body and I forget the person who was doing the injections come over to check on
Chase.
Rain. What's the name?
Daga and Chase. So Daga was the woman, and then Chase was like that guy that was with her.
Okay. Her cleanup, her assistant.
Yeah.
So Kimmy starts questioning her off bat, like, where'd you go to school? You're a nurse? Like, she like, check your girl body. Body go over there and slap the taste out her mouth.
I mean, valid questions because,
Valid questions indeed, because this how this room looks a mess. My girlfriend is on the bed, dying, basically.
yeah. I think that they knew. I mean, they didn't show this in the last episode, but I feel like something went wrong while they were doing this thing, and then they just left because we saw when Kimmy got there, the room just looked like it was in disarray and
Mhm.
like looked like maybe paper towels that had stuff on them was just like laying around. They had left like whatever stuff they was using just laying around there. They didn't like clean up anything. So it kind of seems like maybe when they were doing it, maybe she already was kind of like out of it or something. And they were just like, she doesn't look good. Like, let's just leave because like something about to happen to
Maybe
her
they
or
wasn't
whatever.
expecting a girlfriend to like check on her or something. That's just so crazy. Because you're right. Like Chase comes in cleaning up everything.
Wiping down like the little nightstand and even like the
Hmm.
door. It looked like he wiped the doorknob too.
It did look like he wiped the doorknob. So Body calls Jules when she gets out of there. And, she lets him know that there's been an issue with one of the girls trying to get her shots done. And he's like, I don't know why you keep using this person. He calls her a dude. And, she's like, she's a woman. I feel like that was kind of cool that they put that in there.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like that was deliberate. Um, and he's like,
Um,
he makes he says, how many pros has she killed of mine?
yeah,
So this is not the first person that she's done a bad job on.
yeah.
And so Body asks him also to check Kimmy for her, and that kind of backfires on her. He's like, if you can't handle it, I'm gonna make somebody else my bottom. And she's like, I can handle it, I can handle it.
Okay, so after Body's gotten off the phone with Jules, we are now back with Mallory and Roy. They are in the car with the body in the trunk. He's driving fast. Mallory's sitting here telling him, slow down, slow down. He's not really listening. He's trying to get to wherever they need to get to get rid of everything. And he's telling her, like, check the body again, like you don't know who it is, like check the body again for an ID. She's basically like, I am not about to touch this body. I'm not about, I'm not checking anything. And he's like, he just he doesn't like whatever this plan is that they have and like saying that this is her problem. And she's like, oh, I was not the person who covered up the cancer that killed 98 women. So this alludes back to the first episode where she got served those papers, and the woman that served the papers is saying, like, oh, yeah, some women died from getting cancer from your hair relaxers. And so it's sounding like him or maybe his dad or just the family in general must have done something to try to cover up that stuff had happened. Because now she's like, yeah.
Where I had heard that she was like, I am the one who covered up the cancer that killed 98 women. Because she's like, you need to do something. Well, he was saying like you haven't done anything, or they were arguing about some like whoever hasn't done something. And I feel like she said, I'm the one who covered up the cancer that killed 98 women. I feel like she was like
Mm.
taking ownership of it. Like, I'm the one who covered it up
Maybe I heard it
for
wrong
the
because I thought,
family.
yeah, maybe I heard it wrong because I thought like he was trying to say like, I'm having to like do this thing. Yeah, I probably heard it wrong.
Yeah, he's like, she's like, yeah, take care of it. I'm the one who covered up the cancer that killed 98 women.
Okay.
Do something for the family.
Yeah, honestly, that would make sense because I literally did just say he seems like he has more of a conscience about stuff. So yeah, it would definitely fit her MO if she was the one to be covering the cancer or like the deaths or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, so after they're having this little conversation in the car, and what do you know? Some blue lights are popping up and they are needing to pull over. Obviously, they have this body in the trunk, so they're freaking out because they're like he cannot go back there. Hopefully, we can like work everything out. This officer, he comes around. You know how officers do. He ends up making Roy get out of the car. And, because at first he's like, oh, have y'all like been drinking or whatever? And Mallory, she's like, oh, it was like me. I've had some drinks. But he ends up giving Roy a breathalyzer, which clearly shows that he's been drinking because both of them have been drinking that night. So because of this, Roy ends up getting detained. Mallory, she notices that the body in the back is starting to open the trunk. So she hurries up, hops out of the car to try to hurry up and get in front of the trunk because the officer is about to start walking back to the car. And she's trying to just like stall and figure out like what can they do. The officer's telling her, you're gonna have to get a tow truck because y'all have been drinking. So nobody's gonna drive this car, and you better hope that your ride gets here before the tow truck gets here.
This part is so wild to me. Like, you guys didn't check to see if the person was alive.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't check a pulse.
Yeah. I feel like the body must have just been like the person, because obviously they got hit. The person got hit by Mallory, then got ran over by Roy. So I feel like they probably were unconscious or something and then just came to. But yeah, I agree. Like you would think that you would check. Well, we already know Mallory
Check a
didn't check
pulse.
because she just went ahead and drove away. But you would think you over here picking up bodies and putting them in your trunk that you might would check just in
You
case.
don't see them breathing at all. They're crazy.
They are crazy. I was not expecting when that happened. I was not expecting that at all, honestly.
Me
I was
neither.
like,
I
oh
was
my
like,
gosh,
what?
like, but also I was thinking like, now how the heck were they opening the trunk from the inside?
That's what I was thinking too. But I need to go in my trunk and see because I know in cars there's an emergency thing that you should be able to pull to open up a trunk in a car. I
Hmm.
don't know about in a truck. There might be because for those specific reasons of you getting kidnapped, there's supposed to be a detachment like lever that you can
Yeah.
pull to get out.
I'm curious if this person who is in the vehicle, like, how injured are they? Because if you're able to move to the point, she had to like have been searching back there for, what you're talking about to be able to open the
Mhm.
trunk. So like, could you not have screamed? You're hearing a police officer talking. Could you not have like
Mhm.
said anything, screamed? You can only move. Like,
That's probably the piece that's not really going to make sense because you're right. Like you can move enough to open up the trunk, but you can't make a peep with
yeah,
an officer that's been standing out there for the past 30 minutes because they end up towing the truck.
yeah. Or bang on the window, make
Yeah.
any type of noise that would have made somebody's attention go to the trunk. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, and Mallory's on the phone with Jules and different things before she hopped out. And no, afterwards she told Jules, and he's telling her to stall until he
Hmm.
gets there. He's trying to like get there to pick her up.
After this little interaction, we also kind of go back to Kimmy, and she decides she's not listening to Body in terms of not going to the hospital. So she has called a taxi and she's taking her girl to the hospital because
Mhm.
Rain needs some medical attention. And it was just a very quick little thing. Like they didn't stay too long on it. It was just very quick. Like she's getting in the taxi, she's leaking juices and stuff. The taxi driver is like, like what is this? I was like, what is this? I would have been
Oh
the same
my
way. Like,
gosh.
girl, what is this foreign substance? Like, I would have been
She's like,
so
I'm gonna get
disgusted.
charged for this.
I would have been so disgusted. So at least she's going to the hospital.
Mm.
And then, like Harmony was saying, Mallory's trying to stall the tow truck, but they end up taking the truck anyway. But Jules, he does pull up like shortly after that and picks up Mallory. We also kind of in this moment they're flip-flopping back between like the hospital and Jules and Mallory. And so they have flopped back to the hospital where the nurses are taking Rain back and Kimmy has this flashback to her, Rain, and Angel all on the plane. And so we know from the previous episode that something had happened at an airport. So this was before anything bad had happened because they all look happy. They all look like they just boarded this flight and it's like just leaving. So now we're back with Jules and Mallory. He says Roy is out. And he's asking, like, what is in the trunk? And I did not like Mallory here. Because our girl Mallory, she is the one who hit this person in the road. And she's like,
Oh yeah.
Roy hit someone and the
She
body's
denying
in his
it.
trunk. Like, does
Hmm.
she not think that Roy is going to talk to Jules at some point? And
She don't care.
I was just like, I mean, I wasn't surprised, but it was just like, girl, the audacity. And this is your husband. I mean, I know she's probably mad at him right now because of the whole situation, but it's just like, I wonder even if it wasn't, if that other situation hadn't happened with her finding out about, well, she doesn't know that it's Kimmy. I wonder if she would have still said he did it.
I don't think she would say she did it. She's not ever gonna own up to
Oh, yeah, for sure
her
not.
doing something wrong.
For sure not. I just wonder if she would have still been like, oh, Roy hit this person, or if she would have came up with some other reason as to why they have this body in their trunk.
And then also, oh no, never mind. Keep going.
Um, and so she says that the body was still moving. And Jules is like, why didn't y'all call me? Like, I'm literally, this is what I'm for, like, for the family. I'm like, why didn't y'all call me? And she's just straight up like, I don't trust. He's like, well, you don't trust me. She's like, yeah, I don't trust you. You're right. I don't. That's why we didn't call. I was going to handle it.
I liked her in that moment. I'm like, and she's like, okay, you know I don't trust you, so what we gonna do? And she's like, well, who do you think you talking to at the anyway? Like, you work for us, basically, is what I felt like she was putting down. Like, and it seems like they
Hmm.
maybe had this tit for tat maybe for a little bit because he's like, you're on this again, like you still don't trust me. Like, I wonder what's happened in the past with them. Like, I feel like there's just like
Yeah.
a glimmer of like some type of conversation.
Yeah. I would love to know what exactly his connection with like Roy and the family is. Because,
Mm.
maybe he's someone I was kind of getting the vibe of like, okay, you know how like you might have grew up with somebody and you went this way and they kind of went down the wrong path, but like it was your friend, but y'all just didn't stay super close type of vibe
Mhm.
because you just can't be around that. I feel like it was kind of giving that kind of vibe. And that's why she's saying
I
like I
see
don't
that.
trust him. Cause
I
like
can
I
see
know what
that.
he
And I can
does.
see maybe she had it something with him too in the past.
Maybe. I wasn't
I
really
don't
getting
know.
that vibe from her though. But it's always a
Can't tell with
possibility.
her. I can't tell with her. I feel like she might be trying to keep her cards close to her. But
She
who
might.
knows?
Mm.
No, just an idea.
Just something to think about, keep in mind as the season goes on. So yeah, they're like, yeah, I don't trust you. And so he ends up, getting his guys that are gonna go to this tow yard, and he tells them, hey, this truck has a package being a body. He's like, it needs to come out right now. And these
Now.
these guys, I was not expecting this either. As soon as they get to the tow yard, there's usually like a person who's like waiting at the gate or whatever. They instantly
Yeah.
shoot him. Like nothing was
Yeah.
said. they just instantly shoot him. I was like, oh, this is how Jules and his people are coming. I
That
see
was
now why everybody's
wild.
scared of him.
That was wild. I feel like they did not need to shoot that man like that twice. They, like the first shot was in the head, so why would you shoot him in the chest? Like y'all just doing too much.
Yeah, like why not like sneak into the tow yard from a different like area?
And just get it out. I guess
Yeah,
maybe that's too many eyes, but it's only one person. Like, who cares if there's no, like, it didn't seem like there was any cameras.
yeah.
But who knows?
I
There's
didn't like
cameras
that.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But so Delinda, we see back at the strip club, Delinda calls Jules and she lets him know, I think Kimmy took Rain to the hospital because they're not here. And in that same conversation, Jules is like, do you think Body can handle them? Like, why didn't you call Body? And I feel like Delinda kind of had Body's back. She's like, okay, no, I think Delinda had Body's backs. And so she's like, Body can handle it. You just got to check that Kimmy. And so at the same time, Kimmy's at the hospital. She's sitting there. She's kind of just scared, I feel like, in her head. And then she sees some cops there also. That makes her like want to go outside. And so I feel like there was also, was there a flashback, I feel like, during that same time?
There could have been, but I didn't put a note that there was one. She just
Okay.
walked outside and then like Jules was there.
I feel like did there was the flashback of them on the plane and getting taken off the plane by the cops.
Oh, I didn't see that if there was.
Okay, yeah, the flashback when they got on the plane and everything and was having a good time. Right before it took off, they were taken off plane by it said cop on it and it was Jules. And I felt like it was just like it felt like a super setup. Like,
Girl, we sure this
why?
didn't happen in episode 3?
I didn't watch episode 3 yet.
Okay.
I did not.
I was probably too busy writing my notes because I was like, "Ah."
They get taken off the plane by the cops. And I feel like Jules might be setting up young girls like that because if you make it all the way onto the airplane, why would the cops come and take you off?
Yeah, they would have had to have gotten some type of like tip, I feel like, that you had something, or maybe they had like a dog sniff the bags again before they got loaded onto the plane, and then they were like, this bag belongs to, this person, and maybe that was the situation.
I feel like it was like underage girls traveling without like a parent present or something like that. I just feel like Jules is setting up young girls to like travel and him take them off of planes because he has a lot of these girls in the club and they're all talking about paying off their debt.
Maybe. I mean, we do know that Kimmy at this point is like, I don't know if she's turned 18 yet. We know she was about to
Right.
turn
She's 17,
18.
18. Yeah, you're right.
So they're definitely old enough to be on their own. But then like Angel's wrapped into it too. So it's like Jules is getting young girls and young guys.
Okay, you're right. Maybe there's something in their luggage or something. Because he's
Hmm.
like he saved them from going to jail or something. We don't
Yeah.
really fully know the full situation yet, but this episode they definitely were taken off the plane by the cops. And so right when Kimmy goes outside, Jules picks her up in the car and basically tells her like you need to forget about what happened. You need to forget about Rain. Nothing happened. And she repeats that. She repeats nothing happened. It is insane. I'm so glad she took her to the hospital.
Me too. And I feel like during this car ride, we get a little bit more details too about just their whole situation because, he's obviously mad that she came to the hospital with Rain, and then he's like, you were facing 30 years in prison and I worked it out. So it's like, well, how did you work it out? Like,
Yeah.
we know he obviously has connections to people,
Yeah. We see
police
now he
department.
has we just got to see what these connections are. I think he holds dirt over people probably. He might know like
Hmm.
some dirt on a lot of people because he has the strip club. We see that he's providing a service to Roy. He might
Hmm.
provide these services to a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Who knows? And so Mallory and Roy wake up the next morning and they're conversing in the house. He's like, I can't believe you're just up and fine. Like nothing happened last night.
Yeah.
And she's like,
She's
why don't
crazy.
you? She is clear as day. And she's like, why don't you get dressed and go to work and act like you're doing something? Like, let's show some face.
And she also tells him, like, and I'm going to find out who the woman is, just so you know.
Wildin'. And so Kimmy makes it back to the strip club. She's upset. Some other girl in the background's like, where's Rain at? And she just snaps on her. And then Body and Delinda come in and they're like, let her know that she has a VIP. The VIP came back. Oh, but on her way over to the strip club, she had made a phone call to the hospital to try and check on Rain. And they were like, there's HIPAA laws, so we can't talk about anything over the phone. Like, we would need the family member to come in, which I'm like, okay, HIPAA laws. Look at them actually following
Right.
something. Kimmy sees her VIP again. I'm gonna call him VIP Daddy for now. We don't really know who he is. Mallory and Roy wake up at their home and they're getting ready for the day. And Roy's just like, I don't know how you are continuing on your day like nothing has happened. Mallory is just straight on business in her crazy mode.
Yeah, she's like, whatever, I'm about to just go do what I normally do. I'm about to go to work, keep up appearances.
Gotta keep up appearances. And yeah, he definitely like threatens to leave her. What does he say?
He says like he should divorce her because this is she had, right before this she has said like, and she's gonna find out who the woman is. Like, just because we're dealing with the situation with the body, don't think I forgot about that. And she's like, I have an image to protect, and I will kill to protect it. And I was like,
Mhm.
girl. Um, and then he's like, he should divorce her, and she's like, well, your dad hates you and your brother, and will cut both of y'all off. And she's like, why don't you go live in the church with your mom? So I'm like, okay, what's up with the mom situation? Because yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
seen the mom or heard
Where's the
about the
mom?
mom. Like what's up with that? And so Mallory's like, if Roy is not with her, the dad will cut him off and basically he won't have anything. So I'm just like, okay, so the dad hates the sons but likes Mallory like more than the sons.
That's what they're alluding to.
So I don't know what's
Mallory's
up
the
with that.
favorite. Her crazy ass.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably so fake around the dad. Oh, I can't wait to see that interaction. Either she's going to be fake or she's going to be real, and they're both crazy together.
I don't know. Like, I wonder if it has something to do with the mom. I don't know, like, as to why he doesn't like them.
We shall see. So we see Kimmy, she's in shock at the hotel, and the maid is cleaning up the room and just talking shit the whole time. And like Kimmy's just sitting there. The maid's like, oh, I'm not cleaning up after y'all asses no more.
Right? She's like, what is this on here? What is this on here? Use this towel. Like,
And so she leaves the room, and Kimmy calls the hospital to try and like check on Rain. She's in shock. She needs to see if her friend is okay or not. In the hospital, shout out to the hospital. They say they can't give any information over the phone because of HIPAA laws.
love that.
They're like, you have to come in person. Like, we can't give any information over the phone.
So then we jump over to Roy. He shows up at the office. He's got his suit on. He walks in. Mallory is like looking surprised that he showed up. And Jules is
Roy
there.
and Jules, yeah.
Yeah, Roy and Jules. Jules is there, and they tell Mallory that there was no body in the truck
What?
at the tow yard. And they're just like, she's just like, what? Like, so we obviously know that the person is still alive, but they're clearly, what's the word? Not so injured that they obviously can't escape because they clearly did.
Feels like a setup to me right here. Like something feel fishy. I ain't trusting Jules either right now.
Oh, you know what? I didn't consider that it could be a setup, but I mean, they were gone. after they would have, his people would have went to go look. So they could have, I guess, taken the body and be holding it somewhere and gonna use it against them later. Hmm.
Hmm. That's how people do. That's how they get power when they hold secrets.
Yeah. Or the body could actually be gone. I mean, we really don't
Yeah.
know, but yeah, I didn't consider that. But now, because she's very adamant she doesn't trust Jules. I mean, maybe there is something going on. So, now we're back at the strip club. Body confronts Kimmy. She's like, I heard that you went, um, to the hospital. And she's like, you need to stop trying me. Like, you are not listening to anything I say. And while this is happening, another stripper, she's like, how's Rain doing? And Kimmy just instantly takes this as like, you trying to be funny. Like, you
Yeah.
trying to be funny right now. And, and she goes up and gets in the other person's face and is like, what do you mean, like, how Rain's doing? Like, I liked Kimmy right here. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Kimmy. Now, why weren't you doing this before?
Yeah.
Had us
I'm
talking
honestly, I
bad
felt like
about
the
you last
girl was really
episode.
like, "Where's Rain at?" And then she just snapped off.
Yeah, I didn't think that they were trying to be like funny. But I mean, I guess when you are in just like this vulnerable state, you might just take anything as like,
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it. And so at this moment, Delinda, she comes in and she's like, this VIP is back and he's asking for Kimmy. And they're like, okay, girl, this time you better get some money, get a credit card, get something because y'all know last
Something.
time she left, well, she didn't leave empty-handed. He did give her some money, but she came out super fast.
Hmm.
So they're telling her like, don't mess this up this time. And then Delinda, after Kimmy walks away, she's telling Body like, listen, you need to get her in check because if she's acting like this in front of the other girls, like you basically are gonna just lose control over everything. And like Kimmy will end up being on top.
I really liked the stuff Delinda was saying. I feel like they were hilarious in the scene. They were just like yelling all over the place. Delinda's like, "It's easy to run hoes. Move out the way." Like, I feel like
Yeah,
they were so pressed. They just were yelling at everybody, and then all the girls start laughing when they leave. Like, why is y'all yelling? You look a mess.
right.
So they get over into the VIP, and VIP Daddy's asking about our Latin stripper. And he's like, is he gay or is he straight? Kimmy's like, anybody can be whatever you want if you pay in the right price.
Hmm.
And he's like, what is the right price then? Kimmy's like, 1,500. He's like, ooh, I'm on a fixed income. I'm old. He tries to use the old card. He's like, I'm on a fixed income.
When
And
he
so,
said this, I was like, somebody get their granddaddy out this dang on strip club
right.
on
And
a
what you
fixed
doing in the
income.
VIP on your fixed income? Mm-mm. Got your social security check out here,
Right.
sir. And so, yeah, he plays the old card, says he doesn't have much longer to live. He says he has $800. And Kimmy, she say, I'm an honest hoe. We could do it for 500. I can get him for 500. Okay, I got you, I guess. And he's like, for 500? She's like, yeah, you ain't ever met an honest hoe. Like, and so he's like, I don't trust easily. How about you take this? Like, they're trying to figure out how they're gonna like do this arrangement. He's like, you take the rest of the money. Like, can you please just figure it out for me? Like, they're trying to decide where to meet. They decide on, I feel like another a motel. They say they're gonna meet him after work around 2 a.m. out back. He's got his truck out back and they'll see him. And so they get off work, they meet him out back. He's like sleep in the back in the truck. And so Kimmy rides with him to the motel and they have Latin Buddy meet them there. And so they're having quite a bit of conversation in the car, Kimmy and VIP Daddy. And so basically, he's asking her, like, why are you doing this for me? Like, are you gonna rob me? And she's like, these other hoes would rob you, but no, I'm not gonna rob you. I mean, I guess I'm just doing this out the kindness of my heart, but not really. She kind of wants him to call the hospital, or no, she wants him to go up to the hospital and pretend to be Rain's grandfather and check on her and see like how she's doing and like just report back to her. And so he's like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. He's like, what's she doing in the hospital? Like, how'd you guys get into the situation? And she kind of like grazes over it. It's just a long story. And so they make it to the motel, and it's kind of a very quick exchange. Like Latin Buddy comes out quick and is like, he gave me my money and dipped.
Yeah, I thought this
And
was at first I was suspicious of this. I was
hmm
like, oh my gosh, please don't tell me he went there and then beat up the old man and took
right,
the
like
money.
dang, like you could have did a little something.
Right, because earlier, like when Kimmy had even went to go ask Angel about doing
Hmm
this whole thing, he's just like, okay, only dancing, no
hmm
touching, and no having sex, like nothing sexual. So when he ran about the thing, I'm thinking like, oh my God, no.
And I felt like there was like miscommunication maybe there too, because she was like, he'll do anything. And he's like, I'm not doing this and that. So I didn't know what maybe the VIP daddy wanted. Like, did he want anything physical or did he just want to like watch him dance? So I'm like, I don't know what happened. So he runs out of the room and Kimmy goes to check on him, and he's kind of like hunched over, coughing into a Kleenex. I felt like they were gonna like show blood or something, but they didn't really show anything on the Kleenex.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, I thought he was about to fall over at first. I thought that was gonna be
Yeah.
the scene.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be over with for him. But so she helps him into the car. He's got a cane out of nowhere. Like, where this cane come from? So he walking over to the car, coughing. He's like, "Can you drive me home?" And so she's driving him home, and she's like, "This is a long way out." And he's like, "I'll make sure you get back." Like, okay.
Also, during this time, now they don't say it right at this moment, but I have captions on my Netflix.
Mm-hmm. What it
And so
say?
it was showing that his name is Horace.
Horace? Oh no, I didn't
Horace.
know.
I was like, okay,
Horace?
Horace, okay.
What type of name is Horace?
Horace with an
Spell
H.
it. H.
Horace.
Horace?
Horace.
Girl,
You know, he
that's not
old
that man
school.
name.
He old school.
So they're driving down this long private road. She's like, oh my goodness, you live in the middle of nowhere. And they get to a big gate, and the attendant addresses him as, "Oh, hi, sir," and lets them right on in. She's like, "This is this is your mansion?"
Right. It's a huge
He's
house, y'all, if you watch the show.
huge, a beautiful estate.
Hmm.
And so she helps him into this beautiful mansion. He's still coughing and hunched over. He sits down on the couch and he's like, "I'm sorry. All of my help has gone home for the night. Can you please get my medicine from out the den or the study?" And she's like, "This don't look like no fixed income to me." Like she cracking jokes like,
Right, because what is that about, sir? Like, you
you
talking
only
about you
gave
know
us
fixed income and you
500.
live in a dang on mansion.
Right. And so she go back there, she finds the medication, and she comes out, and now she's seeing pictures on the wall. And what pictures does she see?
She sees pictures of Horace, Roy, and the brother that we don't yet know what his name is. And she shooketh. She shooketh when she sees Roy's face.
She's like, "Not Roy." And then she sees Mallory's face too. She knows Mallory because Mallory's the face of that company that she's also um, applied to get a scholarship from.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really know. I feel like right now she connects that Mallory's married to him, and she called Mallory. So the episode ends right there. She shook. She done came up on another type of whale, and it's just seeing how all these different people are connected right now.
I just know episode 3 is going to have so much stuff because also when she was going to talk to Angel about this whole ordeal, like instantly when he saw her, he's like, I don't know anything about it. And she's like, what are you
Oh
talking
yeah.
about? So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there's gonna be something that comes up
Mm-hmm.
that has to do with like something with the strip club. Somebody's done something, I think. Obviously, we're going to have the whole situation with the body. We got to figure out what happened with that.
Hmm.
She still doesn't even know that Roy's name is Roy. She just knows that he's the dude that she's been going to see. And now she's
Yeah.
knowing that he obviously is related to this VIP dude.
Yeah.
Also, we got to figure out the VIP dude because, sir, you clearly were married before. You have two children,
That we know
and then
of.
you're at the strip club trying to get dances with the men.
Yeah.
So there's something there too that needs to be unraveled. There's just like so much.
There is a lot. Do you think that Horace will keep Kimmy around? Because he was saying that it's hard for him to trust people, and
Hmm.
he's really feeling like he can trust Kimmy because he has her drive him home. He has him set up this whole Latin dance for him.
Hmm.
He's got her going to get his meds for him now. Like, I feel like Kimmy might have came up right now with, and he has to do Kimmy a favor now too.
I feel like, and this is just my super early on theory. I feel like somehow, some way, he's gonna end up helping her get out of the situation she's in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Whether it be because we know he does not, because Mallory said he does not like his sons. So
Hmm.
if he finds out, wait, my son has been getting you to do XYZ and he's or being this XYZ type of way towards you or whatever, he might possibly be like, if you don't let her out of whatever situation she's in, I'm cutting you out. I don't know.
Think
He
he'll
might
ma-
not go that extreme.
I don't know if they'll
Overlap
if
that
he'll
much.
find out about Roy and her. I'm
Hmm.
sure maybe Jules and him. Like, because Roy has no real say over what Kimmy does. It's
Yeah.
Jules.
Yeah.
So it's
Hmm.
like he can help her get out with Jules, maybe. But then Jules will have another thing over his head.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, will Mallory find out who Kimmy is? Will Mallory have will like I feel like if Kimmy might be around Mallory, or do we even think Kimmy might be around the family with VIP Daddy or Horace?
Oh,
He's VIP
I feel
Daddy
like
to
it can
me.
go. Yeah, let's call him that. That's gonna be his nickname for the show. I just feel like I don't know. It could really honestly go so many ways because part of me is
Yeah.
also like we are women, and I feel like when we see, hear, are in some situation, we do not forget it. And I part of me feels like Mallory is gonna end up being around Kimmy if Kimmy keeps on being around the dad, and she's
Hmm.
gonna recognize her voice.
Yeah. But
I
she
feel
also
like
had a
she's
fake
gonna,
voice on too when she was saying it. But you never know.
yeah. So maybe I mean, I definitely for sure think Mallory's gonna figure out who Kimmy is. I don't know how soon in the
Mallory
show,
will too. Yeah. There's
but
gonna be
yeah, I'm
some
not
beef there.
sure. I want to know why the dad doesn't like the son.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, there's a lot to find out in this series. I'm excited. I'm here for the drama. I feel like I was a little hard on Kimmy on the first episode, but I think Tyler Perry does a lot of what is it? A lot of drama to pull people in, like a lot
Hmm.
of like extreme scenes to like pull people in. Because I feel like the first episode was just wild. Like Kimmy was just being treated any type of way. Like she was just so sad about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think he definitely, at least for this show, is doing well with like his story building
Hmm.
and just like starting to build up the characters, build up the little bits and pieces of how they're like intertwined without them even knowing some of them. I think he's doing well with that right now.
Yeah, it's a good build up. I'm here for it. I'm excited to watch episode 3.
Who, me too. I just know it's gonna be it's gonna be something. So thanks for tuning in to our review of episode 2 of Beauty in Black. Let us know what you thought about this episode, please, y'all, because it was definitely a lot going on. And let us know what you think will happen next as well.
Yes, and if you don't want to miss any upcoming episodes, definitely make sure you follow us on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow our page on Instagram for the latest updates and reminders. So I'm your girl, Harmony.
And I'm your girl, Yelly. Make sure you come back and join us for more mystery, murder, and melanin. Bye.
Bye.